Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session on SoulSensei. We are so happy to have you all here with us. For anyone who's new to SoulSensei is a space built for healing, growth, and real connection. We host live sessions and guided practices to help you all reconnect with yourself through energy work, meditation, and spiritual exploration with some truly amazing guides and teachers. Before we begin this session today, I would request each one of you present here to kindly switch on your cameras. Having your camera switched on creates a great sense of community, and it really helps our leaders connect with you all better. And if it's always really nice to see some faces on the screen, so if we can have some faces and camera switched on, that would be wonderful. I am Avina. I'm from Team Soul Sensei, and I will be here throughout the session. Thank you to all the people who switched on their cameras. It's wonderful to see you all. For the flow of the session, we will start with a short introduction, and towards the end, the floor can be open for some questions and reflections. Without any further ado, I want to welcome our leader, Karman Lamba, who is a life and mindset coach at Golden Age, who supports people in understanding themselves more deeply and moving through emotional blocks with clarity and care. A certified HYL life coach and workshop leader, her work brings together coaching, therapy, informed tools, and energy healing, drawing from meditation, breath work, healing, inner child and shadow work, chakra healing, EFT, sound healing, journaling, chanting, and family constellation. Karman creates a safe, grounded space for real inner shift and emotional release and long term personal growth. It's wonderful to have you here, Karman. Over to you. Wishing everyone a very calm and a soulful session ahead.
Thank you, Avni. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. And I really want to welcome each one of you who've chosen this for yourself. Thank you for showing up despite all the chaos going out in the outside environment, in your outside world. I think this is when we need the collective consciousness the most. So I want to thank you, each one of you, for showing up today for your own self, for holding space for you. We'll take a few moments to be present to this time and space. So I invite you to gently close your eyes, ground yourself in this current time and space that we are in. We'll do a gentle, soft grounding session for 5 minutes before we begin the session. Take a comfortable seated position. Allow your spine to be relaxed but tall. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Inhale deeply like a big belly breath. And exhale completely. One more time. A big belly breath deep in through your nose. Breathe in the calm. Feel present to this session. Breathing out all the tension, any anxiety, anything that you're holding yourself, any limiting beliefs. Breathe in one more time, deeply in through your nose like you're smelling flowers. And breathing out, regulating your breath like you're blowing out candles. Allow your breath to become steady and rhythmic. With every exhale that you do, feel your nervous system softening. Close your eyes and go within. There is nothing to fix. There is nothing to solve. There's nowhere else to be. Coming into your body, bring your awareness to your feet. Notice your contact with the floor. Notice your legs. Feel supported. You don't have to hold yourself up. The Mother Earth is holding you. Know that you are supported. Let your shoulders soften. Drop your jaws. Release any anxiety, any fear, any emotion that is holding you back. Bring your awareness to the base of your spine. This is your root chakra, your center of safety, stability, and belongingness. As you take a deep breath in, imagine a warm, red, glowing light at the base of your spine. With every inhale, the light grows brighter, warmer, makes you feel safe, stable, where you are. Imagine strong roots growing from your body, moving through the floor, into the ground, into Mother Earth. Feel connected, safe, grateful for the country you are in, for feeling safe despite the outside chaos. Express a moment of gratitude for your family members who are all safe along with you. Release the overthinking. You are grounded. You are supported. You are anchored. Release fear and receive safety. As we are together in this session, take a moment to pray for world peace. Send out light and lots of love to the war zones. The power of collective consciousness is real. Can we all take a moment to send lots of love and light to the war zones at this moment? Returning back centered, feeling safe before you open your eyes and take one final deep breath. Say to yourself, I am grounded, I am centered, and I'm safe. Gently come back, open your eyes to this present space and time. With a smile on your face and a hand on your heart, feel grateful for this moment. We can turn off the sound, Avina. Thank you, each one of you, for showing up today for this session to becoming aware of your emotions, becoming aware of why you get triggered, getting a hang of, a grip of how we feel emotionally triggered and what we can do in the times when we are emotionally charged and we are triggered. I'm sending you all bubbles of love as we are together in this session. So we can start the presentation, Avina, when you're ready. It's so nice to see the cameras on. Thank you for turning the cameras on. Great. So here we are. Today's session is going to be about understanding why we react the way we do, understanding our emotional triggers, understanding reasons that are deep seated in our subconscious mind um, that are responsible for our triggers and our emotional reactions. Most of the time, we are not aware about our triggers, but we react because of certain subconscious, deep seated beliefs, fears, emotions that are there and which are yet unresolved. So let's identify as we go on to our first slide that what really are triggers? What do they look like? You can go to the first slide. A trigger can be anything that prompts an emotional, physical, or cognitive response or a reaction. Most of the time, a trigger is not the event. It is an unresolved emotional memory that gets activated during an event. And if we see it this way, that whenever there is an emotional memory and you remove the emotion from it, you can mostly come to a state where you choose to respond and not to react. So every time you get a trigger, try to remove the emotion attached to it. It is usually an unresolved emotion that we have not addressed at a particular time, either in our childhood or while we are growing up, or something very recent. Um, Whenever you choose to remove that emotion from the memory, you can react from wisdom. You can respond from wisdom. The situation most of the time is in the present, but the reaction is coming from the past. Try to do it next time. Whenever you feel emotionally triggered, try to remove the emotion from the trigger. And why is this important? Why is it really important to understand? Why should you work on your emotional triggers? Because the deeper you understand your triggers, better you can handle your emotional well being. You will get a grip of your emotions. You will stop wounding other people. You can go on to the next slide. Alina, we can move on to the next slide. Thank you. Um, Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you feel that you've reacted strongly to a situation and later on you went back and you thought that that was too much. This could look like you only being an observer when somebody else was conflicting, when somebody else was being confronted. Yes, that's right. I can see a lot of thumbs up already in the group chat. Loneliness is a major trigger for people. It's a very basic emotion. It's normal to feel alone, but you get triggered when you're lonely. You get triggered when you're misunderstood. When you could take a moment to help the person understand yourself clearly, you could take a moment to communicate again. But when you are misunderstood, you immediately get triggered. Feeling emotional vulnerability. There are times when you're not able to express your emotions or you overexpress. There are times when people's facial reactions irritate you. There are times when vocal tones of people irritate you. There are times when body language trigger a lot of people. Pointing fingers, shrugging the shoulders. These are small, body languages that really trigger people. And definitely there is something deep-seated behind it. For example, shrugging shoulders does not trigger me, but it could trigger you. There's definitely something deep-seated behind it that you need to look at. Rejection triggers a lot of people. Judgment. And there are so many other things that spark big emotions when you get triggered. Or notice even when there are two people conflicting, and you're only an observer, you can get triggered to it. That's me. I get triggered by loud voices. I cannot handle people talking loudly. Drop something in the group chat. Tell me what triggers you. Tell me what do your triggers look like? And it will, I'm sure there will be so many of us that will end up resonating with it. Feeling unseen. Yes, Prachi. For our human needs, most of our human needs are feeling to be seen, to be understood, to be heard. And we don't when these needs are not met, we end up feeling triggered, we feel emotionally low. Manipulation, misunderstood, be feeling misunderstood, that's right, lies, feeling dismissed by the spouse. There's an example coming up about that in the next slide. Needing to be perfect, perfection is a trigger, that is so true. We can go on to the next slide. Wasifa, let's see what we have in the next slide. This is exactly what somebody wrote in the group chat about the partner's mood or emotions. So if you see that little image on your right, our subconscious mind is below the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is usually our conscious mind, the mind that chooses for you, that makes choices, the mind that makes decisions. And the subconscious mind, which is usually what we call the basement of our self, is our auto-programmed mind. This is where all the habitual behaviors are stored, any childhood experiences, any past experiences that are not resolved, any unpleasant experiences, old stored emotions, memories, they are all sitting there in your subconscious mind, which is a part of your auto-programmed mind. Whenever you get triggered, the reaction is coming from this mind, which is below the tip of the iceberg. But what we are trying to do is becoming conscious of our unconscious and subconscious and taking our decisions consciously, choosing from a wise mind instead of letting your subconscious mind choose for you. Trust me, if that's this little change that you can make in your life, the change that when you choose to manage your emotions rather than letting your emotions manage you, is going to make a big shift. Why? Because most of the time when you are triggered, you only get triggered at people whom you love. This could be your partner, your children, your siblings, your parents. You show them the most vulnerable, the most triggered side of you. And when you are wounded, you end up wounding them and creating karma. Tell me if if this sounds relevant. When you are emotionally triggered, you display intense emotional reaction that seem disproportionate to whatever situation you are in. And this is usually related to what's there in the subconscious mind. It is not conscious. So, whenever you're witnessing somebody also who's extremely triggered, just see the 5-year-old self in them. What did they do to feel so triggered like this? We'll go to the example, and this will be very much clear to you. Imagine there's a situation when you're feeling sensitive towards your partner's mood. You're feeling it difficult to process, you're feeling it difficult to discuss or bringing it up. And what's the feeling attached to it? The feeling that suddenly comes is that you're always on the edge. You're sensing that there is something going to be wrong now. You're sensing something wrong is going to happen almost every time, which is why you don't want to bring up the problem. You don't want to bring up the situation amongst you and your partner. For example, feeling dismissed, right? Now, the trigger behind it could be a volatile, disruptive environment that you grew up in. So that environment that you grew up in is bringing you to a state where you're always in fight and flight. You're scanning for threats all the time. You're feeling insecure about the situation and you're feeling something will go wrong at this point. You're always in a state of hypervigilance. The fun part is that we as human beings were never meant to stay in the fight and flight mode for a longer time. It was only given to us as a protection means for us. But now in this age and time where we are staying in environment which is overstimulated, we are always doom scrolling, we are always overstimulated by our external factors, watching news so much with so much happening around, we are staying in a state of hypervigilance. And what happens when you're always in an hypervigilant mode is your body is getting stressed. It's going It's going under anxiety, it's going, it's always in that fight and flight mode, and it eventually will translate as disease when it is too much for your body to handle. So, what we are going to analyze today is I'm going to give you two tools to take back, which is really going to help you to tune out of that fight and flight state and come in a more regulated state every time you feel triggered or angry. We can go on to the next slide, Vasya. Why do small things spark big emotions? This is exactly what we spoke about just now, is feelings that are still in the mind and body that were not processed properly at that time. And they will definitely get reignited when something familiar of that sort happens again. Let me give you an example here. From if I talk about myself when I was small, I went into my shell when I saw a conflict in the house. When I saw my father and his brother fighting over something small, which was small for them, but probably not for a 5-year-old me. When I was witnessing a fight amongst them, and there were loud voices. For me, conflicting behaviors meant fights. For confrontation meant fights, meant loud voices. The adult me ended up avoiding conflicts, avoiding confrontation, putting things under the carpet until I chose to heal this, until I chose to come to peace that this is how we can really heal what was there deep seated in my childhood. And I'm sure a lot of you will resonate with this. We can go on to the next slide. Normally, trigger has a um, uh, it has 5 steps. So step number one is the situation. Step number two is interpretation about what your mind thought of it, and then the emotion attached to it, and then the reaction. And normally, when you react, you go into a regret mode when you become back conscious. Let me give you a workplace trigger. Situation, your boss comes and tells you we need to talk, right? Um, your interpretation is suddenly I did something wrong. Probably that's why my boss is coming me and asking me that we need to talk. The emotion behind is you suddenly go into an anxious state. You feel anxious suddenly. The reaction behind it could be like you suddenly went into a defensive tone. I didn't do it. I did not do it. You went into a defensive state. So, what you could do, a more calmer self is feel grounded at that state. Feel okay. Maybe there would be something else that needs to come up at workplace, and there's not necessarily a negative self-talk that you did something wrong about it, right? Similarly, the relationship trigger that we spoke about. We can go on to our next slide. So I'm going to give you a 4-step awareness reset where you'll come to awareness about how to react when you get triggered. So you can choose to pause. Every time there is an external trigger, just take a step to withdraw yourself from that situation. Detach yourself from the situation and then analyze the situation. Guys, if you need the slides, I will send it to you. I think there must be somebody's child playing around with the slides, so it's okay. Let's not focus too much on the slides. This is the last slide anyway. We're going to go into an awareness activity after this. So if you need the slides, I can send them to you after the session. So you can take a 5 seconds pause, withdraw yourself from the situation. What I would suggest doing here is a set of box breathing. So how box breathing looks like is close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath in, full into your belly, Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. 2, 3, 4. And hold for 4 seconds. 2, 3, 4. Inhale again for 4 seconds. 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 3, 4. Exhale for 4 seconds. And hold for 4 seconds. Inhale again for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. And hold for 4 seconds. Whenever you do this set of box breathing, it will immediately regulate yourself. You will feel regulated instantly. And then your mind is going to respond from the conscious self instead of coming from the subconscious self. You are most likely tend to where you're not going to react, but you'll choose to respond very wisely in this situation. Our emotions usually get stored in the body. Whenever you get triggered, notice where you feel it. Notice how your body is responding to it. Is your stomach heavy? Are you feeling the rumbling in the stomach? Is your chest tight? Are you feeling the heaviness in your chest? Is your jaw clenched? These are normal signs of emotions getting stored in our body. Name the emotion. Every time you feel triggered, give a name to it because as soon as you name the emotion, it's going to reduce the intensity. I feel rejected. It's okay to feel disrespected. It's okay to feel unseen. Just name the emotion and become aware of them. Hold space for your own emotions. Don't negate any emotion that you're feeling. Don't reject it as soon as you feel it. In a moment, I'm going to give you a round of EFT that is going to help you. Um, that is going to help you regulate this emotion as soon as you're feeling in the body. Because um, just now I told you that you're not going to react. But then what are you going to do? You're also not supposed to implode the emotions because when it implodes in the body, it tends to manifest as disease. So the best thing is to process it. EFT is one of the best tools to process your emotions. We're going to do like a round of EFT for 5 minutes before we end this session because this session was only meant to be 30 minutes. This EFT will ground you instantly. It will help you becoming aware of that emotion. It will automatically help you name the emotion, reduce the intensity that you were feeling. So our body has a lot of energy tubes, and whenever we are stressed, we are triggered, we are feeling any emotion, these emotions get stuck in our body, in our energy tubes. And what we want to do it, we want to process them. We want to process it the right way so that we don't end up wounding other people. We're going to do a round of EFT for 2 minutes, and then we can open the ground for Q&A. Close your eyes, everyone. Before we start the EFT, we can start the music, Vasvina, for the EFT. I want you to go back to a situation in your life when you felt very triggered, when you felt people are pushing your buttons, when you felt you were helpless in that situation. Close your eyes and go back to the exact situation. Feel it. How were you feeling? Where was this emotion? Was it in your chest? Were you feeling rumbling in the stomach? Did you feel like crying at that moment? What did you end up doing? What was the emotion? Were you angry? Were you sad? Were you fearful? Were you feeling guilty? Or were you shameful? In EFT, we tap on our meridian points. I'd want you to look at the screen, and as I tap, I would like you to tap along and repeat after me as I repeat these words that will resonate to most of your emotions. We'll start from the karate chop point. That's the side of our palm. You can start tapping like this with the tip of your fingers. And repeat these words. Even though I feel angry, I feel the sadness, I feel fearful, but I'm really willing to love and accept myself. Even though I feel heavy in my chest, and this is because of the dense emotions. I don't know what to do with these emotions, but I'm really willing to love and accept myself. Even though these emotions block me from moving forward. Nobody taught me how to process these emotions, but I'm really willing to love and accept myself. Now tap on the center of your forehead, just above your eyebrows. Even though this sadness, this anger, this fear resides in my body, my beautiful body. It makes me feel heavy in the chest. Come to your under eye. It makes me feel heavy in my body. All these dense, dark emotions, they are living in the center of my body. Tap on the upper lip. I recognize these emotions. They are mine. They stop me from moving forward in my life. They stop me from achieving my goals and dreams. Side of the forehead. I'm willing to release these emotions and let it go. These emotions, this sadness, this anger, this fear, it makes me feel weak. I have no space for these emotions in my body. I'm willing to release them and let it go. I want to release these emotions to make space for more in my body. Because as I make more space, I have empty space to manifest more in my life. Now go on the top of your head to reprogram yourself. That was then, and this is now. I'm releasing all these emotions from my body. I'm releasing all the density from my body so that I can walk towards my future goals and dreams. So that I can have a healthy self, I can have a healthy body. I'm releasing and letting go of these emotions. They have no space in my body. This anger, this fear, this sadness. I'm willing to let it all go. Take a deep breath in. I'm excited to feel what my body feels like without these emotions. As the density leaves my body, I'm feeling lighter. I'm feeling excited in my new body, the body that is the space where my soul resides. This is the beautiful temple for my soul. Put a hand on your heart and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just say, I release all the deep, dark, dense emotions and come back to this space and time. This was only scratching the surface, guys. It's only 30 minutes that could do. But if you want to take back two things from this session is take back the box breathing. There are audios available on YouTube where you can do a round of box breathing by yourself, and you'll almost get used to it about how to do it by your own self once you know how to do it. There is a lot of audios, a lot of tools on YouTube that teach you how to do EFT for these emotions. If you want me to recommend some audio tracks, I can do it. But I'm wishing you the best, and I'll open the ground for some questions if we have some time, as the moderator permits. How was the session, guys? How was it for you all? I will send the EFT to you, Sonu. I'll send it to Avina and I'll make sure it's regular, like it's sent through across. I'll also want to share the presentation because I know there was some disturbance in between and you couldn't read everything very well. I'll definitely share the PPT and feel free to circulate it around. Thank you, guys. If there are any questions, feel free to unmute. Um,
What we can do is, you can either post it into the chat box or you can raise your hands and I can unmute you all.
Thank you, guys. I am grateful for each one of you who showed up today for your own self.
Yeah, Prachi, you can go ahead.
Hi, Karman. Thank you so
Hi,
much for this.
Prachi.
Hi,
Thanks to you. Yes.
thank you. A simple question. I hope this resonates with most. We did talk about releasing intensity
Mm-hmm.
in favor of responding versus reacting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is on our end, but and kind of internalizing a response, as in finding the root or
Right.
etc. But in terms of the external interaction, like being in a hostile atmosphere versus and then these are varying degrees based on life situations and candidates and context, of course. So how do we um, I'll just go for a very classic example. Like, if there is a family member or a partner or a friend or a sibling that is being a repeat offender, if you may, or
Right.
not, I wouldn't call it an offender because I also want to take ownership of the emotion, but like a repeat occurrence
Mm-hmm.
with the
Like a
same candidate.
pattern. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how do we decide to stay and heal and or heal but move on, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Prachi, you will go and you will take you wherever you go. If the situation is similar and it's repeating in the same format with a different set of people, then it is there. It is your triggers are usually your teachers. They are your treasures. They are there to show you that why is it triggering you. And as I said in the beginning of the session, is what might trigger you, it might not trigger me, it might not trigger somebody else here, right? So if it is triggering you, if people are pushing your buttons, there is definitely a thing that you need to learn that why is it triggering me? What is there in my subconscious mind, the bottom of the iceberg that I need to reflect? I need to go within and see what is really triggering me and then go and heal that. And when you come to awareness, there will be a point in your life when there's no energetic charge in that emotion to trigger you anymore. So you'll only come to a space where you respond from wisdom and less from reaction or less from your subconscious auto-programmed behavior. I don't know if that made 100% sense, but I would say
Oh yeah.
dive in deeper
Yeah, that does
each
make
time.
sense. It's just and please feel free to decline for the sake of time if applicable. But this is like, say, what I mean to say. So that is a constant, no matter whether it is the walking away or the staying part. That is a constant. The working on self is like a constant journey. But
Yes.
my thought is like, if I have 100, like a limited charge in my battery, like let's say there is a
Right.
battery charge, and if I'm using it to counter an onset, um,
Mm-hmm.
like repeatedly, while I work on what created that emotion in me. And yes, I guess de-weaponize the outside situation.
100%.
Is there a need or a way to identify being wanting to move from point A to B in terms of atmosphere? It isn't something you do at the drop of a hat, of course. This is not, and generally, like you said, only loved ones who are very connected to you can invoke that
Will
kind of a
push your
response.
buttons. Yes.
This is not something that we do at the drop of a hat. But if it comes to it, and should it come to it, is the contemplation. It may be a little too complex for today's session, but pardon my
No, it's okay. Thank you for bringing it up. And I'm sure a lot of us have things to resonate and learn from it, and maybe at least put a thought to it, if not anything else.
I
Yes.
appreciate it. Yeah. So yeah, that was it, and open for contemplation or response. But yeah, I guess with enough self work, we'll come to an answer for ourselves.
100%, 100%. We will. And that's why this journey is there, and that's why we are here, and that's why we're moving forward towards it. But it's ongoing, Prachi, if you ask me. And there will be a time when s- you we come to a point of awareness where the little things don't trigger us anymore. I'm not saying that the triggers will go away. It's gonna mature. Like as we mature, as we become more aware. So maybe small things don't even affect you anymore, you know. But
Yes.
yes, how are we on the time, Avina? I know we are a little overboard. We are like 10 minutes overboard. But do we have time for more questions? Because I
Yeah, we
think
can
people
take
want.
another one, Karman.
Okay.
Okay, before we move
Varsha, I
ahead,
think Varsh.
we
Mm-hmm.
also have exciting news that Karman's next upcoming session is happening on the 5th of March at 7 p.m. This was just a normal 30-minute brief session, and the next session is going to be much longer. I myself, I love EFT, and that's going to be an even longer journey. So do check it out. The link will be put up. It's going to be amazing. Moving on to the next question, Varsha, I'm going ahead and unmuting you. You can go ahead and ask.
Good to see you,
Yeah,
Varsha. Hi.
yeah, nice to see you. How are you?
Nice to see you. Good, good. I hope the situation in UAE is okay. It's controlled.
Uh, Honestly, today is better. Like it's little
Okay.
stable, safer.
Okay.
People are
All
moving
right.
out today. Yesterday was a bit of chaos. Like the
I'm
chaos started
sending you
from
all.
Saturday evening.
Yeah,
But yeah,
constantly seeing that, but sending you love and
yeah.
light.
Thank you
Stay.
so much. So my
Yes.
my question is, many a times the trigger comes in a situation where you're around people, and at that
Mm-hmm.
moment breathing or certain sort of techniques would not be possible immediately. What's the
Absolutely.
first thing that one should, because I have noticed, like when the trigger comes, like my chest gets so heavy. I
Heavy.
have to like either
Varsha,
just open my mouth
step.
and let it out.
Yes. No, no. Step number one, if your chest is heavy, if you're feeling triggered, there's nothing else you can do. The first thing you can do is detach yourself from that situation. And when it means that, like energetically detaching yourself will look like stepping away. If you are in an energetic area where this is happening, step 4 steps backwards, where you are automatically feeling energetically away from that situation.
Hmm.
Step
Okay.
back
Okay.
and tell that person or that situation that I will come back to you on this. There is
Hmm.
no need to responding at that point. This will give you and that person enough time to process what has
Hmm.
happened.
Yeah, because I think at that moment to build that patience of not reacting and then have that patience to respond is, where we sort of lack,
Give
and, and then,
give a cue to your mind. Each to its own. Maybe having a sip of water at that point is a cue to your mind that
hmm,
Varsha, you
hmm,
need to detach. So every time you are feeling triggered, give yourself a cue. Make sh- and it could, for somebody it's scratching the earlobe. That's the cue for me that okay, I need to
hmm,
detach. Coming to the
hmm,
conscious from the subconscious. My cue is drinking water. My cue is scratching my mind. My cue is scratching the head and
Yeah,
just detaching
yeah.
myself from the
Scratching my
situation.
head, yeah.
It's not
Okay, okay.
important. It's not important to get back. Nobody is obligated to get back at that point. Everything can wait. Not at the cost of wounding other people, not at the cost of causing you that emotional pain. It's not worth it.
True, true. Especially not wounding other people, because you end up
Yes.
losing good relationships also because of that
Yes.
reason.
And then you regret it later. As we discussed in the
Yeah,
last like the slide, the last part of the reaction of the trigger is it getting it. You regret it
yeah,
at the end. And it's too
yeah.
late by
True.
then.
Yeah, true. Okay. Yeah, that makes a
Yes.
lot of sense. Thank you. Thank you so much, Karman.
You're welcome.
I'll
You're
see you
welcome.
soon in I think in
Yes.
a month's time.
Yes, we are seeing each other in
Yeah,
in a month's time.
yeah,
Yes.
in a month's
Mm.
time. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
All
Okay.
right,
Thank you.
guys. See you. Take care, stay safe. Okay, Avina, back to you.
Yes, thank you. Uh, like I said, the session's happening on the 5th of March at 7 p.m. Karman, if you'd like to tell them more about what they can expect, maybe a few lines or so.
It's going to be about inner child alchemy. It's about understanding more deeper about what triggers certain people. Like I discussed that conflicts, confrontations, these are things that trigger me. There could be a million things that triggers you all, but not me. And likewise, we want to dig in a little bit more deeper about what really happened when you were little, how you can make peace with those emotions that happened when you were small. You want to stop that loop of triggering reaction, regretting, and all of that all over again in your entire life. So just stopping that pattern of going into the loop of regret and negative self-talk and all of that. So coming to awareness about what really happened in your childhood, making peace with it. So next session is totally going to be focused on inner child alchemy. So I'd invite you to be a part of it, feel it. I'm sure you'll definitely have a lot more takeaways from that session. We'll be better spaced out in terms of time. And yes, looking forward to seeing you all at that point. Thank you for showing up today. I'm sending you all bubbles of love, light, happiness, peace. I hope you all stay safe and stay grounded, stay responsive, not reactive. Lots of love to all of you. Thank you, Avina. Thank you, Vasfiya, for holding space for today's session.
Thank you, Karman, for doing this with us. Thank you all who joined us live for this session. It was wonderful having you all join this space with us. Hoping to see you all on the 5th of March at 7 p.m. Do check it out. It's going to be wonderful. Thank you once again. Have a great
Thank you.
evening.
Bye bye. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.